Hey everybody, welcome to the Sharp Tongue Podcast. I'm your girl, Jessimae Peluso. Thank you so much to everybody who came out to my opening tour weekend. I was at Everett, Washington at the Everett Theater for a 420 show, The Dope Show with Clea McNeil. Great time. Also went to Comedy Key West in Key West, Florida. Had a wonderful time there. Thank you for everybody who came out to the shows. And there's more shows all over the country. I'm touring for the rest of the year, jessimaepeluso.com/tour. I'm going to be in a city near you, Chicago and Point Pleasant, New Jersey, Vegas, Vancouver, British Columbia, Edmonton, Canada, Arizona, Plano, Texas, a bunch of cities, a bunch of dates. You can check those out on jessimae.com/tour. And without further ado, we have another OG episode with me, just rambling about all the stuff that I've experienced touring and things that bother me. I got a new snack attack this week, and if you guys want to send in any suggestions for snack attacks or pictures of dogs in places they shouldn't be, email me at jessimaepelusocomedy@gmail.com. And don't forget to check out the YouTube page. You know where it is, youtube.com/Jessimae Peluso. Without further ado, another OG episode hosted by the one, the only, yours truly. We're going in deep. We're taking a deep dive together. Let's have some fun. I hope you enjoy this episode of the Sharp Tongue Podcast. Sharp Tongue Podcast. Beep, 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 beep. You're listening to the Sharp Tongue Podcast. I'm your host, Jessimae Peluso. It's a personal look. Well, it's not really a look because it's a podcast. I'm already fucking this up. This is kind of like a verbal comedy diary, a deep look into the crevices of my mind. It's gonna get dirty. You might cry. You'll probably laugh. Hopefully you'll laugh. The whole point is for you to laugh, but you also might cry. I talk about my family. I talk about farts. I talk about love, loss, comedy, how hard it is to make it in this biz. I'm a fucking professional. Each week it's something different. Sometimes I have a guest host. Sometimes it's gonna be a movie companion episode. Sometimes I just ramble about the bullshit I dealt with the week before. You never know what you're gonna get. It's raw, uncut, and funny. It's me. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is the Sharp Tongue Podcast, which you've already been told probably about 4 or 5 times at this point. I'm fresh off of my weekend from Key West, Florida. I was there at Comedy Key West with Clea McNeil. We had a freaking blast. And Key West is weird. I don't know if anyone's ever been to this particular part of the country, this particular part of Florida. Very strange place. Strange in pretty great ways. Like, there aren't many streets there that you feel unsafe unless you're scared of chickens running around, because there are just random street chickens. It's kind of like Ybor City in Tampa, where they have this protected species of chicken and rooster that are roaming free. Just roaming free. Literally, you're woken up in the morning by a rooster cooing. Is that what they say, cooing? Is that what a rooster does? I'm not sure, but you're woken by that noise in the morning, and it's kind of delightful. It makes you feel like you're on a farm, but you're not. And it was funny because I woke up this morning in Syracuse. As you can tell, I'm in my guest bedroom studio here at my sister's house. I woke up and I could have sworn I heard a rooster, but it was just a screaming toddler, which is a similar sound. It's jarring. Jarring. I need to put jarring on some merch. Speaking of merch, Ian Burns hit me up. If you guys know OG fan Ian Burns, was wondering when he could expect his merch. And much like the Godfather of it all, being that I've never seen Godfather, we don't know if Ian Burns is ever going to get his merch. Nothing against Ian. At this point, it feels too wrong to send it to him. And some of you are probably thinking, oh, that's a fan. You should send it to your fan. Well, you guys don't understand the type of long game I play. Oh, let me fix this bed. I see. Gotta make sure it's tidy in here. So one thing my mother always made us do is make our bed in the morning. There is something to waking up and making your bed. Having at least one thing done from your to-do list. Our forever growing to-do list. Why are our to-do lists so long now? Is it just adulting? Is that what it is? Like, are our to-do lists long because we're adults, or are we doing too much? That's really what I want to know. Are we doing too much? And I kind of think that we are. I know I am for sure. I'm doing way too much. And I'm not one to victimize myself or be like, woe is me. But let me just tell you the things I'm working on right now. I'm enrolled in a UCLA memoir writing course, which I have to be honest, I'm a little frustrated about. I'm a little frustrated about because they told me it was going to be a Zoom class, which I think is a big pivot for someone who hasn't been in an education environment in decades. I think it's a difficult sort of shift for someone like me who I haven't been in a classroom in years. So just the online of it all is something that provides a little bit of a learning curve, if you will. Then the night before our course is expected to start, actually the night of our course starting, the instructor tells us that it is no longer a Zoom course, that it is, I got to see the word she used, an anchorus. She used some weird ass term that basically was a fancy way of saying, hey, you're not going to, it's just on your own responsibility to get the work done. So there's only like a posting board that happens. Like there's not even there's no video at all, first and foremost, and there's no freaking conversation. And I'm somebody who needs that sort of stimulation. I'm someone who learns in groups and needs that back and forth, and to not have it puts it all on me, puts the entire onus on me, and that's very difficult for me. So I'm like, I chose to not get graded because that was an option. So I chose to not get graded because I'm just taking this standalone course. But to not have, any sort of communication with the students in face-to-face is frustrating for me. So we have to leave boards. What is this, MySpace? This is what it feels. It feels like a MySpace class. So I'm frustrated, and if I can think of the word, I'm looking it up in my text messages. Let's see it, because I texted it to my sister. I said, the course is like I knew what the hell it meant. Anchorus, the fuck. She typed it in this course. She's like, this classroom is no longer on Zoom. It's anamorphous. Fuck, what's the fucking word? The word pissed me off because not only did I not know what it meant, and I had to Google it, it meant that I also was losing a little bit of help and support. So that's been a challenge, and I chose to take that course because I wanted it to assist me in the process of writing a book. And so I'm writing a book. I'm also working on scripts and a horror movie, and also trying to have fun and sleep, and 2 podcasts, and I have 3 dogs and a partridge in a pear tree. So I think I'm doing too fucking much. I'm doing so much that I had to switch my plans from Key West to come upstate last minute, and totally even forgot to tell Deb and ask Deb if she could take care of Chaplin. She's like, hey, are you landing in LA? And I'm like, I'm in New York. Hey, I'm in a different state. And much like this Moira Rose mug that I have that I bought for my sister for Christmas, I could really, I'd kill for a good coma. But don't say that. Don't put that out in the universe, right? You don't want to speak that into existence. But golly, I wouldn't mind a little nap. I've been telling Kalia, who says golly all the time, to put that on merch because it's so catchy. So if you hear me saying golly, it's because of Kalia McNeil, who was on the road with me and did a great job this past weekend. So much went down. There's so much to tell you guys. So I'm embarking on this tour that is taking me through the end of the year. And I didn't really brand this one. Normally I brand my tours and make it something that's fun, and you guys can get a poster at the end of the year. But this is just me going on the road and me doing some dates while I'm working on all these other projects. And I was in Key West, and I'm going to be coming up. I'm going to be in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. That's going to be the first weekend of May. And a whole bunch of other dates. We have so many different cities I'm coming to. I'll pull it up on my freaking website. I should know what it is. But your girl stays busy. Let's see. Jessimae tour. Where the heck am I going to be? Key West kicked it off. It's so weird to look at my own tour dates. Actually, I lied. Everett Theater kicked it off. I was at Everett, Washington at the Everett Theater for a 420 show that was so much fun. What a great theater. It was old as hell. Definitely some ghosts roaming around, dusty. I found a really great poster of this guy, John Sebastian, who we're going to get into. And also I've got an update about my tattoos, and I'll tell you guys about that at the end of the podcast. But first and foremost, tour dates. Key West was amazing. You guys can see me in Edmonton, Canada at the House of Comedy, May 4th, 5th, and 6th. I'm also going to be in Chicago, July 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Point Pleasant, Uncle Vinny's Comedy Club, New Jersey, 18th and 19th. House of Comedy in Plano, Texas for my birthday weekend, September 15th and 16th, 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th. Oh, and 18th? Damn. Did we? I think that's right. There shouldn't be a Sunday show, but that's my birthday weekend. House of Comedy in Vancouver, October 5th through the 7th. I'm going to be at the House of Comedy in Phoenix, Arizona, the 2nd through the 4th. Comedy Store in La Jolla, November 10th through the 12th. And we're adding a couple more dates right now. So come see me live. Come out and laugh. Get off of your phone, be in the flesh, and just, realize that there's something to do outside of being on devices. And to me, that's something that I realize is really distracting these days. And one of the things that makes it harder for me to focus on all the work I have to do is my device. So I really have to put my fucking device down. And speaking of putting devices down, I really put my device down traveling to Key West. And the whole point of this whole thing is I haven't been on the road in a while. I haven't been on the road in a couple months, I should say. I have been touring for a very long time, but the past couple months I've just been gearing up for all the work that I've been doing in my house and for the other projects that I'm doing outside of stand-up. So I'm a little rusty. And I don't know when this started, but turbulence on every flight. There's just turbulence on every flight now. It was so turbulent, I was nauseous. And if I wasn't on a plane, I would for sure think I was pregnant. It was that kind of nausea, just rolling nausea. And I used something that I never use. I just did something that I never really do, and I used the stupid seat pocket in front of me, okay? I put my laptop in the seat pocket in front of me. Don't you know I got off the frickin' plane without my frickin' laptop? Yeah, got off the plane without my frickin' laptop. Left it in the seat pocket in front of me. Every time I've ever used them, I've left whatever I've put there. All they guarantee is that you're going to lose an iPad or a laptop if you use that front seat pocket. That's the only thing it's there for. I bet airline companies made them as a way to keep our valuables. But the one thing I remembered when I got off that flight? Left my laptop. Didn't forget this baby. I flew with a straw hat to Key West because I'm that person. And I remembered my hat, forgot my laptop. So I'm walking around the airport, just jolly as ever, excited to be back on the road and excited to tour and be there with a friend. Get out, have a good time. We got a car rental. I'm in the car rental. We're yakking it up. Kalia and I are laughing. We pull out of the airport and I'm like, I forgot my laptop. I remembered my straw hat, but I forgot my laptop. I obviously have my priorities mixed up here. And then I had to go back into the airport. I don't know if anyone's ever experienced this type of panic, but I had to go back into the airport, park my car illegally. Didn't do that without hitting a pillar first. Yes, I allegedly hit a pillar. The car's fine. There's no damage to the vehicle. I hit a pillar. I got out and I checked it and I go, nothing. And Clea said it was the most Sicilian thing she's ever seen. I got out of the car. I was like, nothing. It's fine. It's fine. Literally hit a cement pillar and just said everything's fine. She's like, that's the most Sicilian thing I have ever seen. And then I ran through the airport and had to go to the counter and I ended up, oh God, my hair is a hot mess. Let me just fix myself here. See, this is a problem with recording and having a video. I don't want to see myself. I'm going to have to flip this camera next time I record because I don't want to see myself. This is a podcast, okay? I know you guys like the video and all that, but I'm good. I don't need to see it. I go up to the counter and I ended up getting this amazing angel, just an angel. And this girl, Eva, I think it was Eve or Eva, and she helped me, okay? And then she told this kid Chance, who looked like he was on his last chance, to take care of it and to go to the gate. And this kid looked like a total stoner, okay? And one of my pet peeves is when people don't write things down. If I tell you something, if I give you an order, if you're taking my order at a restaurant, if there's a list or something you need to remember, for the sake of the person you're telling, just write it down. Can you write it down? And this can kind of go a little bit into the things that bothered me this week, but not necessarily because of, how this story ends. And I'm not going to leave you guys in suspense. The story ends positively, but not without a few bumps in the road. And so I just can't stand when people don't write things down. And I look at this kid Chance, who looks like he's on his last chance. And I knew he wouldn't be able to get the laptop alone. I'm looking at Eve and I'm looking at Chance and I'm like, you two are 50% of Genesis. One of you didn't make it. We know Eve did, but Chance, it looks like Adam beat you to the punch. So I knew he was going to have to call in reinforcements. And, so I chatted with Eve a little bit because I knew Chance didn't have the chutzpah. He didn't have the je ne sais quoi. He didn't have that certain zest that one needs in order to retrieve things that seemingly have disappeared into the ether. And so I'm sitting here chatting with Eva, who was a sheer delight. And she gave me all the airport tea. I got a lot of dirt. I got a lot of dirt about airports. I got a lot of dirt about Delta. Did you guys know that all of us who travel have a PNR? It's like a personal something number, a personal I can't, now I got to Google what the fuck it means. A PNR number. I got to Google a lot of things. I need to find out what that fucking word was. I'm going to put it in the show notes. Personal name, passenger name record. It's a digital certificate allowing passengers to do online check-ins or manage their bookings in a short time. These are also used by the airport clientele or personnel. The airport employees use this. And if you're an asshole at the airport, if you're an asshole at the airport, the person at the desk will make a note on your passenger name record. And that PNR note gets sent to the gate agent. So if you're an asshole at the airport and you treat them poorly or you act like a dick or you do something that is just not cool, they will make a note in your system, as they should, rightfully so. And that note travels with you along your path. So it's a little bit of an incentive to not be an asshole. And I know it's a little bit of a conflicting statement to have because I am on this journey of myself kind of experiencing what it feels like to be an asshole. Not that I'm treating people poorly. I have just reserved a little bit of the energy I have in my kindness tank for myself. And I asked her that because I wanted to know if there was some sort of incentive to get people to be a little bit kinder to agents. And I said, what's one of the hardest things about your job? And she said, it's that people are mean. And I said, who specifically are the meanest types of people? She said, people in Sky Priority. People in Sky Priority are the meanest. And that made me freaking sad. That made me really, really, really sad. And it made me, it seems like when we get perks, instead of being grateful, we get greedy. And it seems when we become a priority, we lose our perspective. And instead of being kind, we act cruel. And I just don't think that's cool. I don't think it's cool, but this isn't anything that's surprising. This isn't anything that's new. This is a sort of thing, I guess, when we talk about entitlement, what we're speaking about, there's entitlement in all forms of life. And I don't like to get political. I don't like to talk about race. I don't like to talk about too much that we are inundated with every day on the news. But in this instance, this is a little bit of a, entitlement situation. And some of the kindest people are the people who have nothing to give, but they give anyways. So remember that the next time you're out in the world and there's someone who has less, whatever you have can be taken from you at any moment. So maybe instead of acting like you deserve more, be grateful for what you've got. It could be gone tomorrow. So don't be an asshole to Eve, because she's sending Chance with one last chance to find my freaking laptop. And you guys know, Eve had to go. She had to go and retrieve the laptop because Chance called her and he's like, I can't get through. Eve had the key, not like an actual key, but just her personality and her smile and her certain wits about her. But she didn't go without telling me about the red coats. She's like, do you know about the red coats? I'm like, no, girl, tell me about the red coats. She's like, well, the red coats are our bosses. They're the managers, and they're the ones that control everything. And we know all the dirt on all the red coats. And she's like, when so-and-so comes over here, we know we got to act a certain way. And if this one does this one. And so she tells me this and she leaves and goes, helps Chance find my freaking laptop that I left in that stupid pocket that I guarantee is just a bottomless pit that goes into a room filled with other people's laptops that are sold on the black market. So she leaves. Guess who comes around the freaking corner? A red coat. A red coat comes around the corner and asks me, he goes, where did she go? And I'm looking at him. I'm like, sir, I don't work here. I don't have a red coat. I don't have a blue coat. I don't have one of them cute little red and blue ascots that the airline steward and stewardess wears. I don't know. What are we calling them now? Airline agents, flight attendants, whatever the fuck we're calling them. I don't have any cute little pins. Nothing, sir. I don't work here. I'm just the idiot who left her laptop in that sneaky little pocket that you guys had installed on the airplanes. He goes, where's Chance? I'm like, I think he's failing at life. So he's like, they're both not supposed to leave. And I felt bad because I felt like I kind of threw them under the bus. I'm like, oh God, sorry. But she came back. She had my laptop. I learned a really important lesson that I need to slow down and I need to do a little bit less. And I think I've been on that path for a while, especially after my parents have passed, figuring out how to do things that matter to me and to constantly purge the habits and people, the behaviors and the things that I'm doing in my life that aren't meaningful, and to really do what matters to me. And it can be difficult. It really can, because you want to achieve and you want to get things done. But I know the reason I left my laptop is because I'm doing too much. I'm doing too much. And I have a big appetite. That's why I do what I do. That's why I'm in this career. I am attempting something that is nearly impossible and only successful for a small number of people. A very small percentage of people are successful at this career and in this industry. So it's appealing to me in that sense, but I am exhausted. If I'm being honest, I'm tired, and I'm not complaining. It's just a result of me needing to prioritize more. And I know I'm doing too much, and me leaving my laptop was a little bit of the universe being like, hey, don't get too cocky. You're getting a little cocky and you're getting a little too comfortable, and you need to check yourself, and you still need to download a little bit. We upload so much and we forget that we got to download because there's no more space to upload. Unless you're putting it somewhere, it's just stocking up and stocking up. So I'm learning to start to prioritize even more. I hope you guys can figure that out for yourselves. Like, where in your lives are you doing too much, and how can you download some stuff? How can you delegate and ask for help? That's something I'm doing more, is asking for help. And even my own assistant is like, hey, can you tell me what you need, communicate with me, and stop trying to do it all? So let's all do that a little bit. Let's talk about what bothered me this week. The drunk people in Key West were pretty impressively contained. There was one drunk guy in Key West that Kalia and I came about, and it was a very interesting situation. Her and I were walking from the show back to our condo, and she goes, yo, that dude just fell. I look across the street, and this guy is laying down, head to the concrete, flat out, almost like a outline sketch of a crime scene, like someone who just got murdered. That's what he looked like if you went and drew around his body. And then he gets up and he starts screaming at the girl he's walking with, this young girl. They probably were in their, I don't know, mid-20s. And he's screaming at her. And I could hear him saying something like, and then you threw yourself down on the dance floor like this. And he threw himself back, like, so hard I was surprised his head didn't crack open. And he's in these dress shoes that he's like kicking out from underneath him to throw himself back on the ground. And he does that about 6-7 times. And Kalia and I are like, what is going on? And they're starting to get attention of people walking in the streets. Now, I will say I've been to Key West a few times. And the one thing that I'm impressed with are the drunk people. And this has been my experience. They haven't been debaucherous. And I think it's because of the way Key West polices itself. And I say that literally. I've never seen police. I think they just do it themselves. I have never seen a cop. I think that it is a self-governed island that once in not too far off history tried to become its own country and failed, which is a very interesting story. You guys should Google about the history of the Conch Republic. Conch Republic. The Conch Republic, as I call it. So they police themselves and it works for them. And so I was surprised to see this kid because I hadn't seen that type of debauchery in Key West in the few times that I've been there. Maybe I've been lucky. And Clea and I are looking, and we literally have this moment. We're sitting on the corner. We're about to go straight to where we are staying. And I go, should we intervene? And Clea and I are really having this debate. We're figuring out if we should be involved in this stranger's life, this girl. And we kind of keep walking another block, and then we hear her go, please just leave me alone. Please get away from me. I'm like, man, I don't know if I can go to sleep without saying something. Now, I know people are probably in their mind going, oh, you Karen. That's not a Karen. A Karen is someone who harasses. A Karen is someone who goes up to, black people and is racist. A Karen is someone who uses the white card, as I know it. This is being a concerned citizen, which I think we aren't doing enough of. I think we're too subdued, and I think we're too numb, and I don't think we're involved enough. I think that's a problem with society. We've sort of lost the community in humanity. And I felt that this girl, and so did Kalia, needed a little bit of help. And so Kalia starts to go across the street, and I go with her, and we go, hey. At this point, the girl was sitting on leaned up against a building, sitting on the pavement, or tarvia, as I call it, from upstate New York, with her knees in her chest. The boy, or young man, has himself in a position of somebody doing the 5 o'clock Muslim prayer. And he is bending down into her saying, I love you. I'm so sorry. I love you. And I'm like, I think we're intervening with just two really drunk people. But she seemed relatively tipsy. He seemed wasted. And she also looked distraught. And I've been there where you can't get away from somebody and you're alone. And so Kalia's like, hey, are you okay? And she goes, he just won't leave me alone. And I said, what do you want? Do you want help? She said, I just want him to leave me alone. I want him to get away from me. And it felt real. And I said, do you know anybody else here? She said, no, I'm with him and I'm all alone and I need him to get away from me. And at this point, a group of people had come over. A group of people, I think were locals from Key West, had come over, and we all positioned ourselves in between this guy and this girl. And he's like, we're fine. And then he goes, all right, when he sees us all as a community roll up and provide a little bit of a bubble around this girl, he's like, okay, I'll let her cool off. We're like, let her cool off. Why don't you guys just cool off a little bit? And she takes off around the corner. She splits. And he gets into a Tesla. And, in that moment, I realize two things. How horrible alcohol really is to a certain point, and how easy it is to get yourself in a situation, in a relationship, that you have a difficulty getting out of. And I hope this girl, the next morning, Kalia and I were like, well, are we going to read an article about a dead girl? Are we going to read an article about a crashed Tesla? And there was no conclusion. We didn't find anything out. And I just hope that this girl got away, because I don't care in any scenario. The way someone acts is the way someone acts. I know we use alcohol as an excuse, and obviously a lot of us have done some really dumb shit on alcohol. A lot of us have done some inexcusable things on alcohol. I really truly believe that if someone acts like this on alcohol, that there's some part about them that is shining through, that there is some connection to their real personality. I don't think that it's something that is completely removed from our true essence. And so I was worried for this girl, and I hope that she got the fuck away, and I hope she realized that she doesn't need to be with somebody like that. And I hope that we didn't cause too much of a rift. But it made me really think about how society is now and how we don't really intervene. And maybe it's different because I live in LA, and, you know, I'm lucky because I do have a little bit of a community where I live, but damn, I just feel like we're with our phones and being distracted and overloaded and overwhelmed, that we aren't as interconnected with our actual immediate community as we used to be. And so, you know, I just hope that this girl didn't fucking get back with this asshole who got into a Tesla drunk and who was throwing himself down. Maybe he gave himself a concussion. Maybe he knocked some sense into himself. I would hope after 7 or 8 times of throwing himself in the concrete in Key West that he knocked some sense into himself. And then it made me think of something that also bothers me. When people say, I don't mean to interrupt. Well, you just did. You just did. It seems like the very thing you did mean to do was interrupt, because you kept on going. You didn't say, hey, may I talk to you? You said, I don't mean to interrupt. And then you just went into what the thing is that is interrupting me now. So obviously that's exactly what you meant to do. People who don't mean to interrupt, you know what they do? They just don't interrupt. Why don't you work on that next time? Why don't you work on just not interrupting instead of being a completely, you know, somebody who's just very, very presumptuous and assumes that I want to hear what you have to fucking say, because I don't. I really don't. Because usually the people who say I don't mean to interrupt usually have nothing to say. And not only did that sentence interrupt, what they contributed to the conversation interrupted as well. So keep it moving. Keep it frickin' moving, please. You've got nothing to say. Other things that have bothered me. Docs on TikTok. What are we doing? I don't understand. Shouldn't these medical professionals be furthering their studies? Why are we doing dances in the hallways of a hospital? Why are we learning Taylor Swift's choreography? You're a neurosurgeon. I love you, Dr. Langer, but grab a scalpel and get back into the frickin' operating room. Why are doctors and nurses doing choreography? Why are they doing skits? So now everybody wants to be a comedian? This is the problem. And I've said this before. We're going to have to do a draft for doctors. We're going to have to do a draft for nurses, because all these people are idiots on TikTok getting fired saying stupid shit, as they should be getting fired, because instead of being on TikTok, you should be furthering your education, so that when I come in with whatever hopefully curable disease or broken limb or rash that I have, you've been able to educate yourself further enough so that you can heal me. You know what's not going to heal me in the hospital? The twerking. You know what's not going to help me in the hospital is you twerking. You know what's not going to help me out in the hospital? The fact that you learned some new challenge. You know what's not going to help me in the hospital? You dancing to Taylor Swift. That's certainly not going to help me. And your skits that you've put up on TikTok, those aren't going to cure the incurable disease. I know nothing can cure incurable disease, but at least you can try. And TikTok is not going to help us. So I think docs need to be banned from TikTok, because if we don't start banning docs from TikTok, we're going to need a doctor draft, just like the war, because people are going to quit their doctor careers because they've become famous. They've become famous on TikTok. I'm over it. This is one of the reasons why I think Joan Rivers passed away too. When she was under, there were nurses taking pictures and posting them with her. And I don't think there should be a fucking phone allowed in an operating room unless it's for the operation. I don't think there should be phones allowed while you're working. That's the one thing we need to start doing, is banning phones while people are working. I don't need the bartender texting her boyfriend while I'm waiting for a drink, and I don't need my neurosurgeon posting his dance in the hallway. I think we need to get rid of the phones. And I say this as somebody who used to bartend, and my boss would scream at me. And this was in the beginning when we started using our phones, and it wasn't even that much. And now I understand. Now I get it, Charlie. You're not wrong. I should have put my phone in my purse and focused. Let's all be in the moment. We're so focused on becoming someone famous that we're not focused on our careers. We're not focused on our children. We're not focused on being a nurse. We're not focused on being a bartender. No matter what you do, try and be more focused at it. Try and be in the moment of what you do a little bit more so that people survive. You're not going to help the person with the weird rash by knowing the dance you've studied on TikTok. It's not going to help anybody. And what if TikTok goes away? Well, you've lost your account and you're dumber. God bless America. You know what else has bothered me this week? Maca root. What the fuck is it? I don't get it. What is maca root? It's something that Amazonian warriors used to eat before they went to war, and we've got bitches putting it in smoothies. My heart is going to explode out of my chest. Maca root was used for warriors. We don't need it in the kale smoothie. Chill, Felicity. I get that you started this smoothie shop because your rich husband has ignored you and threw money at the problem, and you opened this place up as a friend. Well, I'm going to ask you to not put maca root in my smoothie because I am not going to war. I'm just going to Pilates. So can you help a bitch out? Maca root sent me into a panic attack last week. I thought I was dying. I was shaking. My heart was palpitating. I was like, God, am I having a panic attack? No, it's maca root. What am I going to do? Paint my face and poison some darts and shoot them at somebody in a forest? Just trying to go for a jog. Shit. We're doing too much. Even maca root was doing too much. There's a lot happening. Disney's on fire. What's going on in the world? Even Disney's doing too much. Somebody fell asleep at the wheel and the dragon got set on fire. We all need to just relax and maybe just take some things off of our plate. Okay? And I thought maybe that the maca root would help me focus. It set me on fire. Maybe the dinosaur at Disney had maca root in its smoothie that day, and that's why I got set on fire. It's all crumbling. The empire is crumbling. And, now they're saying that we have to fear extraterrestrial, we have extraterrestrial threats. But what they didn't say in that sort of really misleading headline was that they meant satellite. Like they meant other countries infiltrating us with their space station technology. Okay. But they also said there's a possible extraterrestrial threat, and we all thought it meant ETs. And then we got confused because now we don't call them UFOs anymore. We call them UAPs. And why are we focused on what we're calling them? Okay? And all that government funding, and we still don't know. We still don't know. What are we doing with all the equipment that we paid for? I want my money back. Send us some real proof. I know they made everything all the classified documents available now. And now we can get them. But still, I want to see a fingerprint from an alien. You guys have a lot of money. There's a lot of money in war. There's a lot of money in technology, a lot of military money that we've paid for. I want to see some alien skin. It's all unclassified now. Show me the UFO receipts. Okay? We should do with UFOs what we did with Don't Fuck with Cats, that documentary. We all came together and got the answers. So we all need to come together and find him. The alien that they're keeping from us. We got to find him. WTF, UFO, UAP. How about OPET? Other people's extraterrestrial. Where are they? Where are these extraterrestrials? I need to see them. I know that they're somewhere, and you guys have got plenty of money. You're fucking around. And it's like, why are we concerned with what we call things? We're so concerned about labels. Oh my God, that reminds me of my snack attack. I just was reminded of why I started snack attack. It was because of a yogurt. But before we get into that, I'm really over us changing the way we refer to things. The UFO, UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon. It's the same thing. Different title. Same thing, different title. It's just like Los Angeles not dealing with a homelessness problem. They won't address the homelessness problem, but they will address the homeless people differently. Like they're not going to solve the problem of homelessness, but we'll call them something different to make them feel like we've dealt with it. People experiencing homelessness. I'm a person experiencing homelessness. I don't own a home. So am I technically a person experiencing homelessness? I feel like I fall under that category. So why don't we actually put some effort into figuring out where the aliens are and helping the homeless people go someplace? Maybe the answer to those two questions is the same thing. I don't know. I am not sure. But I need to get this thing from Siggy's paper. We're going to do Snack Attack. The whole reason I started Snack Attack is this yogurt company. Hold on. Everybody hold on. I went the wrong way. Hold on. There we go. The whole reason I started it. Right here, folks. Siggy's simple ingredient skyr yogurt. And it's a Scandinavian style yogurt. And this brand, I don't know if it's Siggies or Siggies, is delicious. The ingredients satisfy my anal retentiveness and my very picky ingredients that I will not eat list. Pasteurized skim milk, organic agave nectar, Madagascar bourbon vanilla. Love when it has like a location. Fruit pectin, live active cultures. Very desirable list of ingredients. Now, I've been eating Siggies for years, and this is probably one of my single most favorite yogurts, and I'll stock up on it when I get it. It's the vanilla simple ingredient skyr. It's a little flat container. But then I saw this thing on the side, and it says, remove label to read our story. And I was like, I've been eating this yogurt for years, and there's a freaking story? And so this is what started the Snack Attack, is Siggy's story. And I didn't know they had one. And then I realized that I put this in my notes and I wanted to read the story with you guys. I haven't read it completely, so this is a journey we're going on together. So it says, our story. Hello, I'm Siggy. He's from Iceland. I moved to U.S. from Iceland. I found yogurt on store shelves too sweet and artificial tasting. 100% Siggy. You're not wrong. And first of all, Siggy looks like Jesus, to be honest. He looks like an Icelandic Jesus, and I wonder if he's related to Bjork. He probably gets that question a lot, but we all want to know. I know you guys probably thought that too. He said, so in 2005, I made my own using a traditional recipe from Iceland with simple ingredients, more protein than sugar, and a thick, creamy texture. I don't know why creamy freaks me out. Creamy and moist are right up there with words that just sort of irk me. And then I added some more. I hope you enjoy. What a simple story. Visit us at www.siggies.com for more information and recipes. Can you imagine needing to go on the website and discovering more? Well, just how creamy is the texture? I wonder, what do they do to get that texture creamy? And where exactly in Iceland is Siggy from? I'd like to send him a letter. I'm going to send Siggy a letter. What do you guys think? Why don't you guys submit me a letter to Siggy, and I will send my favorite one. Email it to me at jessimaepelusocomedy@gmail.com. I will send my favorite Siggy letter, and maybe he'll respond to us. That would be so amazing if we start writing messages to these snack stories that we get. I think we could probably get some responses from people. So what else did I want to tell you guys? Well, I've got a Letterboxd movie that I watched this past week that I've seen before that kind of frustrated me because I'm looking at things through dirty glasses, not rosy colored, dirty glasses, because I have an attitude. So I watched this movie. It's the reboot of, well, not a reboot, I guess a remake of the movie The Thing. If you know me, you know I love The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing from 1982. It's a great film. The special effects still hold up because they used animatronics and not CGI. CGI has a way of becoming aged. And even a movie I love so much, one of my favorite movies, Jurassic Park, even is a little bit aged, but it still holds up. So the remake was done in, let's see, I'm going to go to Letterboxd and see. I believe this was Icelandic as well. 2011. It was done by Matthias von Heinjig Jr. Can you imagine that's a junior? Can you imagine that is a freaking junior? How does that even happen? I think he should just stop at the first one, but I'm sure it's a very common name where he's from. Now I need to know where this guy is from because I don't like to bash people and not at least give them a little bit of credit here for being such a jerk. Let's see where this guy is from. Movies, it sounds very Scandinavian. He's Dutch. Okay. He's a Dutch director. So this is a Dutch version of this film. It felt Scandinavian to me. And the breakdown is when paleontologist Kate Lloyd travels to an isolated outpost in Antarctica for the expedition of a lifetime. She joins an international team that unearths a remarkable discovery. I will say that this is almost scene for scene a remake and not necessarily a sequel, prequel, or anything like that. It is this guy's idea of what the thing is through his lens. Now, if you haven't seen the movie, see the original. Well, I say original. John Carpenter's is a remake. I have never seen the original. I'm going to Godfather that as well. The 1982 version is my favorite, so I suggest that. But if you are somebody who likes to see the OG, go for OG. And I think it's in the 50s or 60s that the original thing was done. And there's been a couple versions of it. So at the end, this sentence has happened in many different movies, and it drives me nuts when I hear it because I think it's such lazy writing. It's such a dumb question, and it's just infuriating. And I never noticed it before, and I don't think it happened in the version that I love of this movie, but I have seen it in many movies, and it pisses me off. All this stuff goes down. They're dealing with a creature. They're in the Antarctic. They've got people dead. There's explosions, and then they each get out. And the girl looks at the guy and she goes, "What do we do now?" What? Excuse me? What do we do now? We just blew up 100-million-year-old alien. I think we take a beat. What do we do now? We just exploded an alien ship from millennia ago. And you're worried about dinner plans? What we're going to do now is clean the crap in our pants and take a beat. I need a minute. I even need a minute after I get frustrated when my lunch arrives and somebody fucked up an ingredient. Can you imagine after exploding an alien ship and fighting off an alien creature, this bitch wants to know what we're doing later? I think I need a nap. At the very least, I need a nap. And then right immediately after that, you're going to go fuck yourself. So that's what we're going to do now. And later, you're going to continue to go fuck yourself. And I'm going to throw you down the hole that we found the alien spaceship in. That's basically what the plans are. I've seen this in movies. What are we going to do now? No one's ever said that. I don't even say that in life when, we're walking around and there's actually some fun and there could be another plan. I just let it unfold. But imagine facing this complete chaos and wanting to know what the plans are. You gotta take a beat, sis. Let's just take a beat, please. But we have to read some of these letterboxed comments on this movie. I haven't read them. Let's breeze through a couple. You got a problem when the practical effects from the 82 are terrifying to this day, yet CGI from 7 years ago looks like a show from the CW. You're not wrong. The CGI isn't terrible in this movie. This person isn't completely wrong, but there's something about animatronic effects, tangible special effects that will always hold up if it's shot well and if the lighting is good. So this person's, I agree with that. This other person says, my mom was like, let's watch The Thing. It's good. And then she puts this on. Someone get me out of here. Hi, my name is Screening Notes, and I'm a remake apologist. It's been 3.5 weeks since my last remake, but last night I watched a remake of The Thing, and I don't mean John Carpenter's 82 masterpiece. Yes, I mean the 2011 one, and I liked it. I mean, I didn't think it was that bad. The effects are nothing compared to Carpenter's. The ending has some issues. See? But I genuinely love the introduction of the language barrier to heighten tension and to play on the question of who's a thing. I will agree that having a language barrier in this movie did add to the fear. Check it out. It's not that bad. This person says it was all right. The visual effects were cool, but I couldn't get engaged with the story or remember which character was which. That's probably also because we're not watching movies the way we used to. We're kind of on our phone Googling shit. I know I'm not the only one that does that. I know I'm not the only one that's like, oh, let me look this actor up. I just, want to see what other movies the director has done. Next week on Snack Attack, I'm going to be reading rap snacks that I found in Vegas. So stay tuned for that. That will be a lot of fun. Yes, you heard me right. Rap snacks. Oh, yeah. I found snacks and there are rappers on the front. And I'm not talking about the thing that encompasses the snack. I mean actual rappers like singers. Okay. Heard something yesterday in the airport that to this day has shooketh me to my core. I don't know how to describe what I heard. I haven't healed from it emotionally, and I want you guys to start sending me the random things you overhear in your life. Jessimae Peluso comedy at gmail.com. I will read my favorites on the podcast, please, and thank you ahead of time. Overheard in the Delta Lounge Airport at Hartsfield International, ATL. This girl's walking around, and I heard her say, "Did Sequoia tell you about my rebirth party?" First of all, are you talking to a tree? Did a tree tell you something? Or do you know a human being named Sequoia? Because it goes right up there with Dashel from a couple weeks ago. It goes right up there with Dash Babe. And I can't do this. I'm sorry. A rebirth party? Didn't even Google it to see if it was a thing. I probably should before I talk crap about it, right? It's not cool to be ignorant these days. Let's see. A rebirth party. Just let's do a quick Google search to see if anything relatively reasonable comes up. The rebirth of a birthday. What is a rebirth party? A worldwide event, a celebration, a living, vital, and lived symbol of a new beginning. Yep, exactly what I thought. It's bullshit. It's just as painful as I imagined. A big celebration and vital symbol of a new beginning. It's an annual appointment, a celebration that renews itself each year. Let's all work together for the new edition of Rebirth Day. I can't, because of the fact that someone named Sequoia is helping set this up is what infuriates me to my very core. And these are people that aren't doing anything. These are people who are, selling. These are people who go to farmer's market and call strawberry coconut milk gorgeous. This goes right up with the girls in LA who sound like a creepy door that's forever opening. Oh my God. Everybody can get set on fire. This rebirth party can be set on fire, just like a Viking funeral. Sequoia, the rebirth party, and the girl from the farmer's market can all get set on fire and set out to the ocean. Viking style, for all I care. I hope Dashel chokes, and I hope these people trip, because I'm not going to the rebirth party. What is that? Talk about entitlement. Some people don't even get to celebrate their actual birthday party because they don't have any resources, money, family. This bitch is having a rebirth party? The only place where I can see this making sense is for sobriety. People becoming sober and needing to feel anew. And maybe, some people even transitioning and getting into their new life. Sure. But just for the sake of it, Sequoia, please fall into a sewer grate. Oh, okay. Let's get into some Maybays. We got some Maybays here. My girl Laundry Can Wait on Instagram sent me a screenshot of something she posted on an Instagram story. It says, "No one, back of an organic snack label. We love what we do. We are a family. I knew when my kids started shitting blood in 2008, we needed to create the best organic GMO-free pretzel wedges you've ever tasted. So that's what we did for you. Enjoy, eat with a smile, please." See, I'm not the only one who thinks this is ridiculous, but I do love snack stories. If you guys find snack stories, send them to me. Send me your snack stories. At Jessimae Peluso on Instagram, if you find some there. Screen grab them, email them to me, Jessimae Peluso comedy at Gmail. Oh, we have, I totally forgot to tell you guys, tattoo story from the beginning when I told you I was going to tell you about my tattoos. I'm getting a bunch of my tattoos removed. The company Removery has been generous enough to accompany me along this journey. I have decided to start to clean up my past. And not to deny it, but I've made some really bad decisions, and becoming older and really letting go of the child in me and sort of embracing the woman in me, I am getting rid of some tattoos. And so I may or may not document this. I'm not sure because it is a very personal journey. I've just decided that tattoos are kind of constant reminders of mistakes, and I don't need my tattoos to tell my stories for me anymore. I have the podcast for that. So I might make this Patreon content for my OG fans, but yes, I am going along the very painful path of having some tattoos removed permanently. And that's the cost of making dumb decisions. That's not to say that I don't love my show Tattoo Redo. I'm just starting my own show called Tattoo Undo, and it's going to be me and my mistakes. I have so much more I want to tell you guys. I didn't realize we were going on and on for an hour. I'll show you this amazing poster I took in Everett, Washington, of this guy, John Sebastian, in concert. And I kind of made fun of it. Before we go, I just want to put this up there. I kind of made fun of it. I didn't know who this guy was. I'm like, look at this guy, John Sebastian. He just looks like a, high school musical teacher. And then I do some digging, and it turns out this guy was a badass in the 60s. There's photos of him with Bob Dylan and videos of him singing with Mama Cass. He's got like a really amazing career. There's a picture of him with Bob Dylan playing guitar at Cafe Espresso in Woodstock. There's a video of him singing with Mama Cass at one of these cool old 1970s shows. I think it was, let me see if it says, it doesn't say what the show was, but it's just this cool little video of him singing with a hot dad mutton chops and a big old coif of hair. And it made me feel like, there's people that we make fun of that we have an opportunity to sort of see who they are and what they did. And I felt like such an asshole. I took this picture of this guy at the theater in Everett, Washington. I was going to talk crap about him. And then I was like, well, let me look into this because maybe he's somebody. Maybe he's somebody who had a career and he's doing a tour and doing like this moonlighting tour. And I'm so glad that I did that because I did a little deep dive on his career and he's pretty renowned and his music is pretty interesting. So check him out, John Sebastian. I'll put the couple links in the show notes, as well as I'm going to add, there was another link I wanted to put in here. What else did I want to put in here for you guys? What the heck was it? Maybe Siggies? No, it's not Siggies. Some other... I can't remember what it was. Well, we'll figure it out. We'll put it in the show notes. But there's a whole bunch of stuff I wanted to show you guys from being in Vegas. Dogs being in places they shouldn't be. I'll do that next week. And if you guys have any snack attack stories from snacks, send them to me, Jessimae Peluso comedy @gmail.com. Also, if you have pictures of dogs in places they shouldn't be, send me that. If you guys have May-Bay stuff, send me that. We can feature the stuff on the podcast. I love you guys so much. And, think about areas where you're doing too much. Drop some shit off. We need to relax.